Okay, so good afternoon once again. We'll proceed to our intermediate accounting. So we are on now on the chapter 4, which is the accounts receivable. So at the end of this topic, you are expected to learn first to define the receivables. To classify the receivable is either a current or non-current. Okay, state the timing of recognition and measurement of trade receivables. Estimate the recoverable historical cost of trade receivables. Okay, ano siya? So when we say of receivables, guys, so we mean that receivables are assets. Assets gina siya, yeah, all the time. Okay, that represents contractual rights to receive cash or other assets from, take notes ini, another another entity. Okay, so what is a contractual rights? Contractual rights means contractual rights are rights to economic resources arising from contracts or agreement. When we say of contract, it's either both oral and written siya, ha? That will result in both an asset and revenue in the future. Okay, take note na lang sinay, ginasulat ko na lang ang mga note ko da. So when there is a receivable that exists, there is also a payable that corresponds to it. Kung may receivable kita, okay, kita ang may contractual rights, okay, may payable ina nga ga-correspond. Sa diin ga kadto ang payable or sa diin galing ang payable? 3, from another entity or sa other party nga may receivable sa aton. For example, ng receivable, when you say of receivable, for example, ako, may nag-utang sa akon. So, on my part, receivable ko na siya, while ang sa nag-utang sa akon, on his or her part, is a payable. Okay? So, amo na siya ang nature sang accounting. Di ba ang balaton, mayroon na siya sang dual effect. So, ang receivable naton, may effect na siya nga payable sa other entity. Okay? What are the examples of receivables? Okay, ang pinaka-common is the accounts receivable. So, these are receivables that is supported by oral or informal promises to pay. These are not supported by a promissory notes. Wala sang written, wala ni written nga agreement. It's just that nag-utang ako sa imo without any document. Okay? Pero take note nga bearable man sa Japan or may bearing man sa Japan ng oral nga contract. While ang notes receivable, okay, accounts receivable and notes receivable is the same. May the same na sila, pero ang difference lang nila, ang notes receivable may siya sang written nga promise to pay or ang tawag sina promissory notes. Okay? Loans receivable. What is a loans receivable? Ang loans receivable, usually, loans na siya or receivables na siya na extended by a financial institution such as banks, financing companies, and lending institutions. Okay? So, loans receivable, normally sina niya is non-current. Pero there are mga loans man nga applicable sa banks which is current or less than a year man ang term. Okay? So, continuation. Examples of receivables, advances. When we say advances, mga vale bla na. Okay, kung nag-vale ang imong employee, okay, advances. Accrued income. When we say accrued income, receivables arising from income earned but not yet collected such as interest income, dividend income, and the like. Okay? Mga interest receivable, considered mo na siya nga interest income. Okay, deposits. So receivables from reimbursable deposits paid to cover potential damages or mga for example, ako negosyo is nagaparenta, renta sang building, okay? So may ginatawag kitang security deposits, So inang mga deposits kana na pwede na siya ma-consider nga muna ang mga deposits. Claims receivables, amo ni siya ang mga from insurance companies or inang mga shipper nadula ang mga goods or na damage ang goods na claims receivables na siya. Okay? Trade versus non-trade receivables. When we say of trade receivables, amo na siya ang mga receivables nga nag-a-arise sa aton nga ordinary course of business. While ang non-trade, of course, ang mga wala ga-arise or wala nag-arrive sa aton nga normal operating cycle or sa aton nga ordinary course sang business. Okay? Basta trade gani, ordinary course of business. Okay, pag non-trade, other than, okay, sa aton nga normal nga business. Okay, normal nga business operations, which is na-explain ko naman kung ano nang kung paano ma-distinguish ang normal sa na normal operating cycle o normal business sa other than sa aton normal nga ginaobra, di ba? Okay, how do we present receivables? So trade receivables are classified as current, okay, when they are expected to be realized in cash within the normal operating cycle or 1 year, whichever is longer. While ang non-trade, classify mo siya as current if expected mo siya mga realize within a year. Okay? Trade and non-trade, gina-consolidate na sila and gina-present sa aton nga statement of financial position under sa term nga trade and other receivables. One line item nga trade and other receivables. Then ang details and the computation is makita mo sa notes. So how do we measure receivables? Okay? Trade receivables that do not have a significant financing component are measured at the transaction price. Okay? Ano ni siya ang significant financing component? Okay? When we say of siya, okay? When we say of significant financing component, wala siya bala gagamit sa present value. Okay? Wala naton gina-consider ang time value of money. Okay? So transaction price is the amount of consideration to which an entity expects to be entitled in exchange for transferring the promised goods or services to a customer. Okay? So as a practical expedient under Perifers 15, an entity may not discount a trade receivable if it is due within a year. Why? Okay? When we say of discount, inangambal ko kagi nang gagamit sang time value of money. Ano? Okay? So, anong reason sina? It's because once nga ang receivable, within a year man lang siya makolek, masyado ka insignificant ang present value, ano. So usually why na siya gina-consider ang time value of money kung within a year man lang. Okay? So how do we recognize? So trade receivable is recognized when the entity has the right and consideration that is unconditional. Meaning, okay, control over the promised goods or services is transferred to the customer. Okay, once nga na-transfer na ang control sang goods kag services paghatag sa customer, then that's the time mahatag kita or ma-recognize kita sang ginatawag nga receivable. So meaning wala na condition nga kung for example after 5 days is ibalik. Okay? So kung may mina nga condition, hindi naton siya ma-consider as receivables. For example, sini ang inang sa mga TV bla, mga mag-advertise sila sang product, then hambal nila within 7 days nga trial period. Okay? Within 7 days nga trial period nang pwede mo mabalik ang product if hindi mo gusto, ano. So within that 7 days nga period nga pwede mabalik ang product, hindi naton siya pwede ma-considered as a sale or a receivable. Okay? Hindi siya naton pwede ma-record as sale or receivable, but ma-record ta lang siya kapag within that 7 days period wala gin balik sang customer. Then okay, kay nadula na ang condition. Okay? There may be instances where receivable is recognized before control over promised goods or services is transferred to the customer, such as when the unconditional rights result from a contractual provision. Ang mga itong hatag ko nga example, kung inang mga sa shopping wala nila na, di ba, balila. Once ka magbakal ka sila, within 7 days, pwede mo mabalik kung hindi mo gusto. Kinatawag nila nga money back guarantee or something na ang term nila, di ba? So kung mina ang condition or ang pag-transfer mo sang goods sa ila is may condition nga within 7 days pwede mabalik, hindi kita pwede maka-recognize ang receivable. Okay? Ma-recognize lang kita kapag nag-lapse na adto nga condition. Terms of a sale contract. Okay? Usually nisa sa shipment, ano. So under the FOB shipping point, for sure balaan nyo gini ang duha, FOB shipping point and FOB destination. So ownership is transferred to the buyer upon shipment. Take note, ang FOB shipping point ga-start lang ni siya isip, okay, the moment nga nasakay na ni seller sakay shipper, okay, or sa barko ni shipper kung nasaka na dito ang product, then that's the time makarga na ng FOB shipping point. Pero kapag ara pa lang siya sa port, wala pa masakay sa barko, wala FOB shipping point nga matabo. Okay? So under the FOB destination, ang ownership ga transfer kung na-receive na ni buyer or upon delivery kay buyer. So for example, a seller ships goods on December 29, a customer receives them on January 2. Sa FOB shipping point, ma-recognize kita sale kag accounts receivable on December 29 upon shipment. While sa FOB destination, ma-recognize lang kita sale kag receivable sa January 2, the following year na. Okay, anong difference nila? Sa sininga case, okay, so ang inventory within the 2020 X1 excluded na ya sa year-end inventory, while sa destination kitungod next year pagani kita ma-recognize ang sale, okay, the goods in transit are included pa, part pa siya sa aton nga inventory. Okay, so hindi ko maglasa sina mag-answer ka mo sa mga problems, ano. So freight charges. So freight prepaid, when we say freight prepaid, si seller ang nagbayad regardless kung sino ya ang actual or kung sino ang supposed to be nga mabayad sang freight. While ang freight collect, si buyer ang nagbayad sang freight regardless. Okay? Regardless kung sino ya ang supposed to be nga mabayad sang freight. Take note sini guys ha. Pag shipping point gani, okay, pag shipping point ang terms, usually ang normal sila nga treatment is ang mabayad sang shipment is si okay, seller. Okay? Si seller na iya ang usual nga mabayad. Amo na yang normal. Okay? Pag sa FOB destination, ang normal sila agabayad sang shipment, sang tawagan sa Shopee. Freight expense o ang ang freight o ang shipment niya, usually sa FOB destination, ang in charge na iya si buyer. But there are times nga hindi na siya nasusunod. That's why may ari di. Kung FOB shipping point kag freight prepaid, ang supposed to be nga mabayad siya si seller. Pero sino ang actual nga nagbayad? Si seller. Wala problem. Wala accounting problem. Sa FOB shipping point, but freight collect, si seller ang supposed to be mabayad, pero si buyer ang actual nga nagbayad. So may accounting problem na ma-arise naman. Ang freight, kay tungod supposed to be si buyer, si seller ang mabayad, pero si buyer ang nagpay, kay kinaiban ina sa aton nga receivable. Okay, ang entries, basic accounting, ara gina siya. So review nyo to. So FOB destination, freight collect, buyer, wala problema. Okay, while ang freight prepaid, supposed to be ang mabayad si buyer. Kaso ang actual nga nagbayad si seller. So anong obra sila or anong gakatabo sila nga case, ga-add sa receivable ni buyer. Okay, so let's go sa trade discounts and cash discounts. When we say of trade discounts, these are given to encourage orders in large quantities or to avoid frequent changes in catalogs. Take note nga ang trade discounts, direct deduction na sa aton nga ginatawag nga list price. Once nga ang list price minus ang tasang trade discounts, dara kita dayon ga-arrive sa atong ginatawag nga invoice price. And take note, sa trade discounts, no journal entry ang kina-require. So no accounting treatment ang obrahon sa trade discounts. Okay, so take note nga ang receivables always siya sa anchored sa sales. Okay? So amo lang ninyo tandaan kung may makita ka mo nga mga problems, usually pag accounts receivable, ang mga problems sinada naka-mix ang sales. Okay? So cash discounts are given to encourage prompt payment. So cash discounts are deducted from invoice price when determining the net collectible within the discount period and accounted siya separately. So may own siya nga journal entries. So for example, okay, so an entity sells inventory with a list price of 10,000 on account under credit terms of 20%, 10%, to 10 and 30. So anong ambot? Okay. So anong ambot silingon sining 20%, 10%? The 20% and 10% pertains to the trade discounts. Okay? So sa list price nga 10, direct deduction na siya dito sa 10. Take note, basta ganang ginhatag 20%, 10%, Hindi mo na sila pag-i-add nga 30% ang total nga list nga discount, nga trade discount. Less mo na ang 20, then after mo malis ang 20, less mo naman ang 10. Okay? 210 and 30 means that customer is entitled to 2% discount within the 10 days. Okay? And 30 means nga ang buyer is given a 30 days credit period. Okay? Paano entries? Okay, so ginbutan ko din. Sale on account. The moment ka magbaligya ka using the gross method, okay, gamit sa itong ini nga problem. Debit accounts receivable, credit sales. Okay, paano nakuha ang 7,200? 10,000 times 80. Sir, di nakuha ang 80%. 100% less the 20. Then ang 90 is 100% less the 90%. Okay. While sa net method, when we say of net method, upon the sale or upon recording the sale, maiba na kita nga daan sang discount. That's why net method gamit tawag siya. Kitungod giiban nga daan sang. Okay? So, let's assume that collection is made within the discount period atong 10 days. Ano? So, debit kita cash, of course, the collection, less the discount, nga 7,200 times 2%, and accounts receivable. While there is a net method, wala na. While ang kataga record discount is because dito pa lang sa babaw, naga-record na kita discount. Okay? Assume collection is made which beyond the discount period. For example, wala makuha ang discount. No? Debit kita cash, credit accounts receivable. While the rest, sa net method, ga-record kita forfeited nga sales discount. Kaya nga man, upon the sales, na kita, naka-record na kita nga daan sa discount. Okay? So, anong mas convenient gamiton? Ito. Okay? Ang gross method. Pero kung sa actual, ang pinaka nami gamiton is ito, ang net method nga man. Kung ikaw is businessman, okay, usually ang mga discount niya ginagamit kinaya. Wala man niya tawo ang or wala man niya customer nga gusto nga ma-forfeit ang discount nga gina-offer sa iya. So mostly sina iya supposed to be may discount kinaya nga applicable. Okay, so dawat lang no. So wala man niya businessman nga or customer nga i-forfeit nila ang discount nga gina-offer sa ila, di ba? So mas better nga pagbakal pa lang naga-net method na kita. Okay, so accounting for bad debts. Okay, so balaan niyo man ang bad debts kaya doon na-discuss naman siya sa basic accounting, di ba? When you say of bad debts, okay, bad debts are receivable nga usually wala na chance nga wala na chance nga ma-recover, di ba? And because of that, ang mga businesses nga nagagamit sang accounts receivable, normally sina is naga-record nga daan sang allowance sang uncollectibility. Sa allowance for uncollectibility, allowance for bad debts, accounting for doubtful accounts, or allowance for doubtful accounts, usually the same lang na ilagay na mean. Okay? So, how to account for that, ang mga bad debts nga na. So, bad debts, okay, may duha ka method, pero take note sini. Ang ginagamit na lang sa ang allowed lang sang standard is ining allowance method. Wala kita gagamit sang direct off method or direct write off method sa actual. Okay, for book purposes lang ni siya. Okay? So, accounts receivable of 10,000 is found to be doubtful of collection. So, debit kita budget expense and credit allowance for bad debts. Take note that the budget expense is an income statement account which is gina-deduct sa aton nga net income. While ang allowance for bad debts, dito na siya nagkakadto sa aton nga statement of financial position which is a direct deduction sang aton nga accounts receivable kontra accounts sang aton nga accounts receivable. Okay? So direct write-off, wala entry. Okay? So the 10,000 doubtful accounts is deemed worthless and needs to write off. Okay? When you say of write-off, Atong sa babaw, doubtful pa lang. Meaning wala, hindi pa kita sure nga hindi gid man siya ma-collect. Diri sa number 2, na-prove na naton nga worthless or hindi na siya ma-collect. So kinahanglan na naton nga i-write off. So how to write off? Debit kita allowance for bad debts in credit accounts receivable. Okay? Take note sini guys, you need to master this journal entry kay later on sa pagklase ko sang mga different method mag-compute sang bad debt expense. Okay? Kinahanglan master nyo ning ang receivables, ang journal entries because ti account akong gamiton. Okay? There is a direct write-off. Dra pa lang kita ga-record bad debts and credit accounts receivable. Okay? For example, number 3. Ang 10,000 nga gin-write-off naton, after 2 years, after 3 years, nagbalik ang nag-utang sa aton, kaya nagbayad. Okay? So, paano mag-account sina? First, ibalik siya sa aton nga accounts receivable. Tapos, i-reverse na niyo. Meaning, sa number 2, i-reverse na niya siya. So, debit accounts receivable, credit allowance for bad debts. And credit kita, cash, and credit accounts receivable at the same time. Okay? The same entry ni sila para madula adto ang accounts receivable nga gin-reverse naton. Diri naman ya, sa direct write-off, wala kita entry. But, kung magbayad na siya, or magbayad na ang nga gin bad debt expense naton, debit lang cash, credit gain on recovery. Pero wala nato ni ginagamit Normally nga ginagamit naton allowance method. Amo na ning allowed sang standard. Now, estimating doubtful accounts sa muning hambal ko kagina. So, meron kita tatlo ka method nga ginagamit mag-estimate sa tong bad debt expense. Okay? It's either percentage of sales method, percentage of accounts receivable, and aging. Okay? Aging of receivables. So, let's start with this percentage of sales method. Illustration. So, ABC companies, the following information. So, you can pause, you can try to answer, and before kita, or gusto nyo, i-pause nyo before proceed ang video para makatry ka mo sang. So, okay. So, may following information siya during December 31, 2021. So, before any adjustments. So, allowance for doubtful accounts beginning 8,000. Total write-offs 5K. Recoveries 1K. Sales, okay. Including cash sales of 100,000. Sales return and discount including 1,000 returns on cash sales. And accounts receivable and percentage of credit sales. So, ano itong kinanglan i-compute? Budget expense, allowance for doubtful accounts on December 31, and net realizable value of accounts receivable. So, let's start. Requirement 1. So, total sales, 600,000. Okay. Cash sales, take note, ginadeduct. Naman ginadeduct, it's because indeed, ang cash sales is 100% sure collection na siya. So, ang ginagamit na lang din mag-estimate ng doubtful accounts is ang aton nga mga credit sales. Minus sales return. Okay. Kina-minus man ang related sa cash sales. So, ang net credit sales natin is 495,000 times 2%. Aton budget expense is 9,900 pesos. So, take note. Kapag gagamit kita percentage of sales method, mag-compute kita sini. Ang answer sini naton, amo na siya ang budget expense. When we say budget expense, amo na siya ang magiging expense sang aton nga sa income statement bala. So, dire nyo ni ma-determine, Let's use the T account. So, amo ni siyang allowance for doubtful accounts nga T account. Beginning, 8,000. Write-off naton, 5,000. Balik mo to sa entries kagina ha. Again, present ko. 1,000 nga recovery. Kaya ang 99 kagina nga nakuha naton, dali na siya makanto. And we need to solve for the allowance for doubtful accounts nga ending. Okay? Sa net realizable value, ang aton accounts receivable nga 150,000 less ang aton ending nga doubtful accounts, aton accounts receivable nga net ang 136,900. Okay, take note lang liwat ha. Ang 99, once na mag-solve kita sang percentage of sales method, which in this case ang 99, okay, automatic na siya mo na siya ang bad debt expense. Later, dere sa percentage of accounts receivable method, ang aton makuha nga ining 5% gani Kaya amo na siya ang ending nga allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay? Diri aton na soldi bad debt expense. Diri ang ending nga allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay? Given this problem Now, how to solve ano? So let's start first sa aton nga accounts receivable. Kinanglan naton mabalaan kung pila gid aton nga ending nga accounts receivable. So ara kaya ang given. So ang ending tang accounts receivable to as of December 31, 205,000 times percentage ng receivable nga 5%. Ang 10,250 amo na siyang allowance for doubtful accounts naton. Kaginay sa percentage of sales, doubtful account expense. Yan daya. Okay? Atong 10 to 50, ari ang 10 to 50 nga ni, diri siya kadto sa dalom sa ending. Ang 99 kaginaya diri sa babaw, di ba? Diri sa receivable method, diri ka kadto. Okay? So, muna. Beginning balance ang allowance for doubtful, recovery, write-off, and number 1 nga requirement, budget expense, workback, kuha taang 4,250. Net realizable value, ang 205 plus the allowance for doubtful accounts ending at 10 to 50. Okay, aton accounts receivable ending ang 194,750. Net realizable value. Okay? Now, the same with this accounts aging of receivables. So sa aging of receivables, whatever man nga makuha nyo nga answer using this percentage, kaya automatic amo na siya ang aton nga ending amo na siya ang aton ending nga allowance for doubtful accounts. So given, try to read first. Okay. So what is the requirement? Doubtful account expense kaga ang net realizable value sa accounts receivable. So required 1 kagina. Okay, ang table. Sa 0 to 60 days, 1% uncollectible. Pilang allowance na? 1.2. Sa 61 to 120 days, 1.8. Sa over 120, 6. Total, 9,000. So hambal ko kagina ang nakuha ta nga answer using this percentage, amo na siyang ending balance. Okay? So meaning, ang aging of receivables kag ang percentage of receivables method, ang nakuha naton nga answer, amo na siya ang sa ending balance. While ang sa percentage of sales, ang doubtful accounts expense. Okay, using this, mga workback para makuha ang doubtful accounts expense. Okay, liwatong ko lang ang doubtful account expense, kakadto siya sa income statement. While ang ending balance ng allowance for doubtful accounts, amo ni siya nga sa aton nga statement of financial position, which is ginaiba naton sa total nga receivables. So ano pa tong next? Net realizable value, 310,000 less than 9,000. Ang net realizable value sa accounts receivable is 301,000. Okay? So, mo siyang tatlo ka method. So, recap lang. Tatlo ka method mag-compute sang bad debts. Percentage of sales. So, ang makuha mo itong answer, which is ang percentage ng sales, automatic, ang muna na siya ang doubtful account expense. While sa aging of receivables, kag percentage of receivables method, ang makuha mo nga answer using the percentage, ang muna siya ang kakadto sa ending allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay, so, kung may question, okay, chat lang. Okay?